First of all, we'll cover the installation of gopro-overlay. We need a recent version of Python 3, anything from 3.10 onwards. We'll create a virtual environment so that we can install the software. Using a virtual environment allows us to easily upgrade the software and ensures that the libraries that it installs don't conflict with anything else on the system. So we can see we've installed the GoPro overlay and all the various different programs that come with it are now available to us. So let's try and create the simplest possible overlay. Here we've got a GoPro video that I recorded when I was out on my bike. You can just see a few seconds of that. Then let's take a look at the file on disk. So we've got an MP4 file with the GoPro naming. It's pretty big, it's about 11 gigabytes. And if we look at it with a FFmpeg utility, we can see that there's multiple streams of information, including the GoPro metadata. So let's try and make the simplest possible overlay using the GoPro dashboard program. To do that, we just give it the name of the input file and then the name of the output file. And it'll load up the metadata from the file and then try and create a dashboard with the right size and overlay onto the original movie. So we can see here it's rendering about 8 frames a second. That's not terribly fast. That is just a little bit less than real time. So your 1 hour movie will take about 1 hour to render. There's a lot we can do with that. I'll explain how to make it a bit faster later on in this. So I'm going to stop there and then play the movie, and we can see it's overlaid a map, a graph of of the gradient, the speed, and it's also overlaid some stuff that we don't have the data for, such as heartbeat, temperature, and cadence. So let's redo that without the graphics for the heartbeat, temperature, and cadence, because we don't have any data for that in the GoPro. We can add it with some GPX additional data, and we'll do that in a second. But here's how to exclude the widgets. Notice the little double dash there to indicate the end of the list. Otherwise, it's just the same. We'll pass in the name of the input file and where we want to render it to. So it's loading up the file again and then generating the overlay. And we'll just let that run for a few seconds so we can see the difference. So we can see we've rendered about 200 frames now. And we can see that the images for the missing data are no longer there. So let's say that you were out cycling and you were also using a GPS device to capture your route. These often can record other things such as heart rate, power, temperature, and also altitude and other metrics, same as the GoPro. So let's integrate those with the GoPro data. We can use the --GPX flag and pass in the activity either as a GPX or as a fit file. Notice we're not excluding those widgets anymore, as we've got the data from them from the GPX file. We'll just render that for a few seconds. And let's see what we ended up with. So here we can see that now the temperature, cadence and heartbeat are all filled in, and they've been matched up with the GoPro timings. So let's see if we can do anything about the rendering speed. The program is written in Python, which isn't the fastest language in the world, but we can improve on the 7 frames a second that we were getting earlier. Using an NVIDIA GPU, we can achieve a significant performance increase. And there are a number of different modes in GoPro Dashboard that we can use. So the first one uses a feature called FFmpeg profiles. And we're going to use the one here that is called NNV-GPU, which tries to do everything on the GPU. So let's run that and see what a difference we get. So much the same, we're parsing the file with and the GPX, merging the two together, and then generating the output. So we can see here that we're getting now 39 or so 40 frames per second, which is a significant increase. So this is now running at 4 times real time. And then by adding in another setting called double buffer, we may be able to improve that slightly more. Let's try again. The profiles are a little bit complicated. They use some of the features of FFmpeg. Depending on the speed of your GPU and the speed of the CPU, the double buffer may or may not make that much difference. And here we can see it made only a marginal difference, increasing it to about 42 frames per second. So that's it for this initial tutorial. We've shown how to install the GoPro Dashboard Overlay software and generate some dashboards from the GoPro videos with minimal configuration.